This is the Wealthy Wednesday radio show with your host, Luci McMonagle, a money manifestor, coach, and public speaker who's on a mission to helping you create more wealth in your life and business. This show will inspire and empower you with various topics and has expert guests. Let's welcome your host, Luci McMonagle.
Welcome to the Wealthy Wednesday radio show. This is your host, Luci McMonagle. I am so grateful you're here today listening to us, and I really appreciate you. Thank you so kindly. I'd like to tell you a little bit about this incredible guest I have. Her name is Denise Dominguez, and she is absolutely amazing. I have to tell you, she's originally from South Florida, where she raised her 2 children. And she is currently a coach mentor who helps women having them face their fears and limiting beliefs that hinder them from living the life that they dream of. Denise has a clear vision for seeing the trouble spots that exist, every stuck situation, and the creativity to transform it instantly. She is a partner with Your Own University, and she's also the host of It's Your Turn radio show. Through her struggles and divorce, Denise has managed to come out with it with a smiling face and a positive attitude through it all. Currently, her mission is completing her book titled Don't Let the Blonde Hair and Pink Nails Fool Ya. That is amazing. I love that title. And her tagline is, I'm smarter and tougher than you think. And plus, she's also the co-author of the book called The Energy of Happiness that launched January 28th, 2015, and it went straight to Amazon's bestseller within a few hours of launching. When Denise is not coaching women, she is enjoying family time, cooking, traveling, and going to rock concerts. You can learn a little bit more about Denise by going to her website at DeniseDominguez.com. That's DeniseDominguez.com. Let's give a warm welcome for Denise. Welcome to the show, Denise.
Hi, Luci. I am so happy to be here, and I'm so excited to share my message and story with all your listeners.
Oh, that's so fabulous, and I really appreciate you taking the time out of your really incredible busy schedule for being on the Wealthy Wednesday radio show. And I'd like to ask you just a couple of questions so that the audience can get to know you and how you work. Now, could you share us your story and how you got here helping women, and how do you help them exactly?
Oh, my gosh. So awesome how I got here. Well, as you know, Luci, my mess is my message, and that's usually how we all got here, helping other people. So I was in a very toxic, emotionally abusive marriage for over 20 years. And through that relationship, I finally stepped out of my fear, stepped out of my own way, and left and moved 3 states away. This was a plan that I had to make, and I put it into action, and I did it. And I did it with actually no job, Luci. I had no job, and I managed to manifest everything that I needed in my life to do this. It was a big move, and it was just my daughter and I. But I was so excited to leave that situation and start a new life. So I did that in 2011, and a few short years later, I was, really thinking to myself, there's got to be more to life than what I'm doing. I'm just working 9 to 5 and just, the regular old go to work, come home routine, and I was like, there's something more out there for me. I know there is. So I actually looked into I've always been an entrepreneur, so I looked into being my own boss and doing my own thing from home. So I hired a business coach, Luci, and through that is how I became a coach. And, I never knew that when I was going through all of that emotional abuse and all that craziness in my 22-year marriage, that I would be one day here helping women and helping them get through their, quote unquote crap as I did. And gosh, it's so rewarding. It's a blessing, and it's my passion. It's my mission to help women live the dream that they need to have and want.
Wow, that is so true. And a lot of times our mess is our message.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of women, we really, really want to be with somebody who can identify with us and who we can identify, because we have so many unique qualities about ourselves that we can truly make a huge impact in the world, and we can truly make a difference, not only in our lives and our family lives, but in the lives of the world in general. And becoming a coach and really being able to utilize your personal experiences and how did you go from this position to that position, and plus moving 3 states away with no job. That's pretty courageous, pretty courageous. And a lot of people might think, oh my gosh, how did she do it? So how you hired a business coach and you discovered that what your real message is how to help empower women and help them move forward from being stuck in their life, and to guide them with the tricks and the information that you discovered, what works, what doesn't work, and how to shortcut their struggles so that they can move on with their life faster.
Lucy, there was a time when I could not talk about my story without breaking down and crying. There was a time when I isolated myself from my family, from my friends, when I was going through such a tremendously horrible time, and I just really isolated myself. I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't talk about it, even to the closest people to me. I just could not go there. So when I hired my coach, and she believed in me more than I did, believed in myself, she trusted in me, had faith in me more than I did myself, and she guided me, and she told me, email me your story. I want to hear it. And I literally started, my first line of me telling my story, Lucy, was, I'm a very private person, and I never talk about this, and with a shaking hand, here I go. I literally wrote that because I was literally shaking, typing this. And it just, the more I got it out, the easier it was. The more I discovered that my story can actually help somebody, it now, I mean, there's a lot of parts I don't remember, but for the parts that I do remember, I am able to empower women and to help them and to reassure them and with 100%, confidence tell them, you're going to be okay. You are okay. And you will get through this, and everything is going to be great and fantastic. And I wouldn't have been able to do that. I wouldn't have been able to be here sharing my message and helping women if it wasn't for that email that I was literally like, here you go. It's your homework. You need to do this. And I did it.
Wow.
Just out of fear. Yeah.
Wow. How were you able to step out of that fear and the shame and the struggles that you had from being very, very private to being able to tell the first person who confided in your business coach? How did you step through that fear?
Well, it wasn't my first time stepping out of fear. I definitely had done it before when I was in Florida, and when I left that situation, earlier when I talked about I made a plan, I literally just put it in my head, this is it, this is what I'm doing, nothing is going to stop me. So that was the first part of me stepping out of fear. And then when I emailed her, I said, you know what, she believes in me, she wants to hear it, and I need to get it out. And it's not like I was verbally saying it to her, it was easier for me to type it. So I pushed through that. So I would say that's how I got through that fear, was I just pushed through it. And you hire a coach to help you and guide you. And then when they give you, challenges, or they give you homework, whatever, that's not the time to stop. That's the time to push through it and trust that they know what they're talking about. And so that's what I did. I trusted her that she knew what she was doing when she was telling me to tell my story. And I believed in her, and in return, she was believing in me. So that's how I did that.
Wow, that's incredible. And a lot of times the very first step is to make the decision that you're going to get through this no matter what, or you're going to do this no matter what. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't realize that of in itself is that's what gives you the strength and the momentum to move forward, is making the decision that you're going to do it.
Absolutely.
So what, you've had so many different experiences throughout the 22 years of your marriage, where there was a lot of mental struggles and mental abuse and stuff. And how did you go from having what I would assume would be very low self-esteem and questioning whether or not you have your sanity intact and whatnot, to really thriving and moving forward as a coach?
Such a great question, Lucy. You know what? I love that you said sanity, because there was a time when my ex was, and I don't want to get into the whole long story, but there was a time when he was actually hallucinating, coming off of drugs, and he was hallucinating so bad, and he was saying, Denise, come here, listen, do you hear those voices? And I remember saying to myself, Lucy, I am not effing crazy. I do not hear these voices, because you know what? If you let yourself get sucked into that, I probably could have heard what you were hearing. But I was just so determined this was towards the very, very end, obviously. I was just so determined to be like, no, this is not me anymore. I'm not getting crazier and crazier as he was. So I just put one foot in front of the other, Lucy, and I made a plan, and I stuck with it. And like I said, the determination for me to get out of that situation overpowered everything. And that's why the fear wasn't in the way anymore. Because I lived in fear for years and years and years. Years of thinking, how am I going to make it on my own? I have 2 kids. How are the bills going to get paid? Where am I going to live? Because I did live in a nice house. I had a nice car. From the outside, we looked like we had it all. But obviously behind closed doors was a whole other story. So, I didn't want to live, raise my kids in a lower income area. I wanted them to have their suburban life. And so years and years I lived in fear. And I just have to say that once I was so determined, and that determination overpowered fear, I was like a roaring lion. I just plowed through it, and nothing was standing in my way. Nothing.
Wow. And that actually reminds me of the song Hear Me Roar, I Am a Woman. Mm-hmm. And it's really true. When we finally choose ourselves first, mm-hmm. over abuse or over a situation, we find the strength that we never even knew existed from inside of us. Yeah. And that of it in itself really creates the doors that open for us, and our eyes, we can start seeing the opportunities where before they were always there, but we just could not see it. We could not see a way out, and we could not see how am I going to make it? How am I going to be successful? How am I going to take care of my babies that I love and care about, and I'm so devoted mm-hmm. to them? Mm-hmm. And looking at the struggles you're making and understanding I can figure this out, and really having that knowledge of this is figure outable, and we can move forward. That's incredible. That's so incredible.
So true, Lucy. And I want to say that staying in fear kept me stuck, because once I stepped out of that fear, and Lucy, I had no job in this new state of North Carolina. I had just this plan to get out of Florida. I didn't have the plan in North Carolina, but I said, I will figure it out. Don't worry about the how, just do it. And that's what I did. So staying in the fear keeps you stuck. Once you move the fear over, that's when, like you said, the doors open, opportunities arise, and you will figure out the how. The hardest part is just getting over that fear, pushing it aside, and being so determined that what you want to do, what you want to have, you will. And the rest will come.
That's so true. I have to agree with that wholeheartedly, and with a lot of the people that I see it, and with my life personally, when I've decided to push fear to the side, or sometimes I've just had to charge it like a ram and see what's on the other side of that fear. And when you get to the other side, you're like, oh my gosh, why was I so fearful? Yeah. And it's like you're driving into a brick wall mentally, but then you realize that the wall never existed.
Mm-hmm. And nothing great comes out of your comfort zone.
That's true. That is so true.
You've got to step out of your comfort zone in order for great things to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest lesson for me. Biggest.
Yes. Yes, I agree with you. And, sometimes it's okay if you're right on the rim of your comfort zone for a little while before you step out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay to take a little baby step, like dip your toe into your comfort zone and then dip your foot.
Absolutely, yes.
So
totally agree.
So that's always a good thing to do that. Now, you have a lot of different experiences that are really amazing and so inspiring for a lot of the women that are listening to this radio show right now. And I wanted to know, out of all of the great accomplishments that you've had, out of all of the incredible things that you have overcome and the struggles that you have moved out of your life, is there one particular greatest accomplishment to date that you'd like to share with us?
Well, my kids are always first, so having two beautiful, healthy, happy children is obviously always going to be my greatest accomplishment. But just beside that would be what I'm doing, what I'm creating, what I'm able to do, and how I turn such a mess into my message, and being able to help women. That, I think, is definitely my greatest accomplishment. I'm so happy to do this. It is my true passion. I remember, Lucy, when I was a little girl, I don't know why I remember this so vividly, but in kindergarten, they had us draw a picture of what do you want to be when you grow up. And I drew a nurse, because I'm such a caretaker. I love taking care of people. I love, consoling people and helping people. And no, I'm not a nurse, but I am helping people in another way. So I'm fulfilling my lifelong dream by doing this. And
wow.
It is the best.
Wow, and I have to agree with you. When you truly step into your own, mm-hmm. and you truly step into your value, you discover that, you drew a nurse when you were younger because you knew nurses are caring, and mm-hmm. they help people who are struggling, and they help people who are sick to become better, to become healthier.
Feel better. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And what you do is actually even greater in a sense, because nurses are usually stuck in one location. They can only help so many people wherever the vicinity they're at. And with having a coaching business where you can reach out to people from your radio show and you can touch people all over the world.
Yeah.
So you have a greater impact globally rather than locally.
Yeah.
And
greater capacity, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that's beautiful when you have the greater capacity. And some of our listeners might be feeling stuck in their life right now. What would you tell a woman right now that might be feeling stuck in her life in whatever situation she might be in?
Well, I would say reach out to somebody. Reach out to somebody you trust. Talk to a mentor. Hire a coach. Do something that you are communicating with somebody. One of my biggest lessons would be when I entered my program with my coach. She had in a group coaching, and I was still very much behind the scenes. I was not ready to like I said, verbally tell my story and be able to get it out there. And I learned because she always really had us reach out to our community. She calls it Zone 3, and that's our community. She has us in a group, and she told us, part of you being here is you connecting with each other and having each other as mentors. And I was always in the back seat. And it wasn't until later on, probably almost a year later, that I realized, you know what, I need to do this. And that was one of my biggest lessons, was having my community. They help you so much. And you don't realize that what you're going through, somebody else could be going through something similar. And just by you talking to that person, you help each other. So that would be my advice. Reach out to somebody.
That is really good advice, and I completely understand. And I've been there myself when I would be more private with my life. I never really reached out to people. And when I did start reaching out, I found my community. I found my friends. I found the people who really care about me. And and sometimes it's just nice to be able to call up somebody and say, hey, how you doing? And celebrate your accomplishments, even if they're little baby steps, or really be able to just let your issues come out so that you can sort through them.
It's hard to put yourself out there. You're afraid of what the other person is going to think about you. Like you said, the shame in my story, it was embarrassing. It was, not only did I have a failed marriage, but I had such craziness inside of it. And it's hard to be vulnerable in front of somebody. But that's where the connection comes in. That's where the doors open. That's where your light shines.
Oh, wow, absolutely. That's so true. That is so incredibly true. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we will be right back as soon as we're done honoring our sponsors. So hold on for a moment.
Be you to the fullest. That's beautiful. And it is the secret to living your life on purpose. But so many people suffer, not knowing who they are and what they are here for, because of the ongoing influences shooting all over us. Are you ready to break free, take back your power, and discover exactly what makes you, you? Your Own University is the #1 online self-awareness community, here to help you confidently know yourself and step into your ideal life. Our directory is full of highly qualified personal coaches that have helped over 100,000 women from all over the world transform their lives inside and out. Come fall in love with yourself and discover true fulfillment at yourownuniversity.com.
From the best-selling author of From Bondage to Happiness, Antika Lisha will personally walk you through her new program featuring her Radical Forgiveness Freedom Formula. This is for you if you are ready to once and for all be released from the chains of past abuse and take your power back. Radical Forgiveness is a 5-week step-by-step system to release the chains of a traumatic past, trapping in fear, reactivity, and stress, and gently free you, allowing you to take your power back and claim your beautiful life. Get instant access to your first video and a free 60-minute discovery session with Antika herself, a $250 value, at antikalibby.com/radicalforgiveness.
The It's Your Turn radio show with Denise Dominguez is on every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Join Denise Dominguez, an empowerment and relationship coach, as she invites experts on for interviews and how they help women with their knowledge and expertise to break through that stuck space you're in. You'll learn tools and techniques to move forward in life with confidence and clarity that Denise will share with you. Listen every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern by going to blogtalkradio.com/yourownuniversityradio.com. The It's Your Turn radio show with Denise Dominguez.
The Wealthy Wednesday radio show is on every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Join me, Luci McMonagle, an abundance breakthrough coach, author, and public speaker, as your host, as I interview expert guests that will inspire and empower you. Listen every Wednesday or catch the archived shows by going to blogtalkradio.com/Ambitious Women Unite Radio. That's blogtalkradio.com/Ambitious Women Unite Radio. Join me, your host, Luci McMonagle, for the Wealthy Wednesday radio show every Wednesday. Welcome back to the Wealthy Wednesday radio show. This is your host, Luci McMonagle, and our last commercial was Denise Dominguez from It's Your Turn, and she is our fabulous guest today. We are so excited to have her on. Let's give a warm welcome her back to the show. Welcome back, Denise.
Thank you. I was just going to say, I know that girl.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited that you have decided to come to the Wealthy Wednesday radio show and be our guest. And I wanted to make sure that our audience is able to connect with you. And your website is www.denisedominguez.com. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. And you spell it DENISEDOMINGUEZ. That's DeniseDominguez.com.
Yeah.
And you're also on Facebook too, is that correct?
I do.
And they can find you at Facebook.com under the Denise Dominguez?
No, actually, Denise.Clarke, CLARKE, and then I think it's /758.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Shut up.
Yes, we will definitely look up Denise Clarke Dominguez on Facebook.com. So I wanted to ask you a couple of questions in regards to having, you've gone through so many trials and tribulations, and you've gone through so many struggles, and you are really reaching out and helping people with your radio show. You're a co-author for the Energy of Happiness book that literally went to the bestsellers within a few hours. And I'd like to know, out of all of the struggles that you have had, and out of all of the difficulties that you have had, what one piece of advice would you give your younger self if you had to do it all over again, or if you were when you were just starting out in business? Is there anything in particular that you wish you could go back and tell yourself?
Ooh, which one do you want me to attack first? The young self or the business self?
Let's attack the young self first, and then we'll do the business self next. How's that?
Okay, so I would tell my young self I would have left a lot earlier, would have left my marriage a lot earlier. A big reason that I stayed, besides the fear, was I didn't want my family broken up. I didn't want my children to have a part-time dad. I didn't want, he eventually would move on and find another woman. I would eventually move on and find another man. I didn't want my kids to have step-parents, and I just didn't want that broken home. But by staying in the marriage, it was more damage than if I would have left. So I would tell my young self, leave a lot sooner than I did, a lot sooner. And then I would tell my business self, ooh, that's so juicy, Lucy, let me tell you. Once again, I would say to myself, move the fear out of the way and just do it. Have faith in yourself, Denise. Trust yourself, Denise, that everything is okay. You've hired this coach for a reason. She knows what she's talking about, and just do it. Don't think about what's going to happen. Just do it. Step by step, just do it.
Wow, and that's one of the most important things that we can do is we just do it. And sometimes when we're moving through fear, we have to close our eyes and just do it with our eyes closed, just for a few seconds. But just moving through that and being able to get to the other side, and the relief on the other side of that fear is so incredible. It's almost as if you've entered bliss.
It's amazing, Lucy, because when I left, now, mind you, I've never left my marriage before 2011. And that's exactly what I did. I put the blinders on, and I just did it. And I did not have any fear in my heart. But then, here comes another situation, and I totally had fear, standing in my way. So, when you look back, when I look back, it's amazing to me. I'm like, Denise, really? You did something so brave and courageous, and then you have something that's not that bad. You've been through worse, and then you let fear just stand in your way. Eventually, I moved it out of the way. Obviously, that's why I'm here. But you know what I mean? It's like sometimes we do it, and then sometimes we just literally we get in our own way again and again and again.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, and that's where a lot of the sometimes just moving through it and going through the motions just for a little bit until you can actually catch your breath. And when you move forward, I've discovered that looking back too soon can be a little dangerous. Yeah. And just keep moving incrementally and making little incremental steps will help you. And it'll help you feel healthier and happier, and it'll bring you some more self-love and self-worth. And, for you, you've been through the struggles, and you've mentioned a little bit about how you were looking at yourself and saying, I am not insane, but the situation is completely insane. How did you move through that to start loving yourself, to start valuing yourself?
I always loved myself. I just got to a point where I guess it was recognition. I just recognized that, I said to myself, okay, Denise, you put your kids before you, your marriage before you, your husband before you. It's time for you now. And that's how I created the name for my radio show, It's Your Turn, because I am my own client. And
that's good. That's really good.
Yeah, that's how it happened. So my kids were grown up. Now they're in their 20s, and I just said, it's your turn now. So the kids are grown, no more marriage, no more husband. It's all about you now. What are you going to do with your life? This is the conversation that I have with myself. And that's where, I was searching for something. And that's how I became to find my coach. And it's about me now. I want to create something beautiful in my life. I want to be able to provide for my, kids, pay for their college. I'm going to be a grandma in a few years. I want to be able to take my grandkids to Disney like twice a year. Like I have all these things in my head that I'm going to do, and the only way for me to do that is to create this for myself. So I always love myself. I just put myself on the back burner. So I just really put myself on the front burner and pay attention to myself and learned to accept what happened. And the only thing to do now is to move forward, because looking back, number one, that's not where I'm going. Number two, that's just a waste of time and energy. Just move forward and keep creating. And for the self-worth part, that's a good one, because obviously staying in such a horrible situation, I believed that I deserved that. I believed that this is all that I'm worth, to be his wife, and I ran his business and their mom, and I just said I am worth more than that. It's not selfish for me to love myself and put myself first. It's not selfish. It's self-love. And I just, brought that to the forefront and loved myself and keep creating, like I said. So my self-confidence and self-worth has skyrocketed. And I practice my self-love every day. I treat myself to this and do that and exercise and do things for me, because I know that self-love is the foundation for us to have whatever we want and need in life. So we're brought up to think that self-love is selfish, and it's not.
That's true. That's so true. And the other thing about self-love is when you are overflowing with self-love, there's more than enough for everyone. Mm-hmm. And when you have no self-love, you have nothing to give. Mm-hmm. And you feel depleted by everything and everyone around you because your cup's not running over.
Yep, that's so true. Yes. That was literally, that you just described me when in my marriage. I was giving myself out. Mm-hmm. And not taking care of myself, not loving myself, not feeling that I was worthy of having what I deserve. And you're absolutely right. It drains you.
It does. And a lot of times it takes away our health, it takes away our wealth, and it takes away our happiness. Mm-hmm. And when we start putting ourselves on the forefront, it's for the greater good of all concerned, not just ourselves. And a lot of people don't understand that there's a direct connection on how well you feel and how well you treat yourself to how well you are treated by other people and how well you treat other people.
Yeah.
And that makes a huge difference. And sometimes it's hard because we have belief systems or programs that other people told us over and over again, where it kind of sunk into our subconscious, and we're working through other people's lies to get down to the deep of it, to really understand just how precious and how valuable we truly are as an individual, and how much more we can give from the point of self-love, from the point of self-worthiness, and from the point of self-happiness.
Mm-hmm. And Lucy, we all deserve to live a happy life and to have abundance. All of us, every single one of us. So it's us getting in our own way is the reason why we don't have what we deserve to have. And so that was where I was. I was in my own way. And the minute I stepped out of my comfort zone and said enough is enough, my whole world changed. Obviously not overnight. I didn't move to North Carolina and the next day, bam, But like you said, little by little, dipping your toe in first maybe, then your foot, little by little, this is how things happen. And like I said, I'm constantly creating and creating. I wouldn't trade my life, the good and the bad, for anything in the world. And trust me, there was a time when I was like, holy crap, this sucks. Just, so lost and confused and didn't know where to turn. And just, I never felt lost in my life until that time, right before I left. Never. I never knew what that felt like. And it's a horrible, horrible feeling. And to see my kids see me like that was bad. Nobody should see their mom like that. So it's just a matter of getting out of your own way and knowing that you deserve the absolute best in life.
That is so incredibly true, Denise, and I have to agree with you. We truly do deserve the best that life has to serve. Mm-hmm. And I actually, every Valentine's Day, that's exactly what I do, is I put together a little saying or something that's just for me. And that's one of the lines is, I deserve the best that life has to serve. And all of us do. And yeah. I teach that with other people, just like you teach that with other people, and women in particular, to really claim our power, to claim our ability to stand up, and to claim moving forward so that our mess can be our message.
Mm-hmm. We are all deliverers of our message, and that's, what we need to do. And like I said, with a shaking hand, I did it. It's hard. Like I said, it's not easy to put yourself out there. It's not easy because you think you're going to be judged. Why do you stay with him for so long? Why do you even marry him? Like, why would you allow yourself to be treated that way? There's so many things that come across your head when you're thinking about putting yourself out there. But that's where the door is open. Vulnerability is connection, and you need to get it out there so you can not only release yourself of that bottled up inside of you, but put yourself out there, because I promise you, whatever you've gone through as a person, somebody has gone through something similar, and you can help that person. So it's definitely worth it.
That's excellent advice to me, Denise. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Now, you've mentioned that you hired a business coach to start with. Mm-hmm. And how did you find your first business coach? Because there's a lot of business coaches, but how did you find the one that was right for you in particular?
Great question. So I've always been like a huge fan of Oprah. She is my girl.
Yes.
So everything that she taught on her show, I totally absorbed. So it was 2008. This is a long story, but I'm going to make it super short. She had Cheryl Richardson and Louise Hay on there. And I was home from work. I had this bad sinus infection. Out of my groggy state of being sick, I woke up to hear these voices. And I was introduced to The Secret, Law of Attraction, and all that good, juicy stuff. Mm-hmm. And from there, I just dove into it and tried to learn as much as I could. So, on Facebook, when you like or join a group of like Law of Attraction or anything like that, Facebook will suggest things for you. So between that and between me trying to find something for me to do, at home, be my own boss, she came up in, I guess, like a sponsored commercial on Facebook or whatever, and I clicked her, and it led me to her website, which led to a 7-day video series that she sends you through her email list. So I got on that, and I was just really drawn to her from the beginning. she's very pretty, and what she said totally made sense, and she was very connecting. So at the end of the 7-day video series, whatever, it says, oh, yeah, you get a free coaching call, and da-da-da-da. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, what could it hurt? So I get on the call, and it's with one of her team members, and I specifically remember her saying this to me, Lucy, which was the exact right thing that she said to me at the exact right time. She said, and this woman doesn't know me from Adam. She said, Denise, stop making excuses for yourself. You need this, or she said, you want this, and something like, you need this, you want this, and you know you need it, or you know you want it, or something like that. And I remember thinking in my head, how does she know? How does this woman know? And that was it. I entered the program, and from there, I created what I've created, and it was one of the best decisions that I ever did. It's just, your clients will be drawn to you. They will literally come to you. They want to work with you. And that's how I was for her. I wanted to work with her. I had no clue of what I was doing, or what I was getting into. None. But like I said, through the process, I trusted her and trusted that she knew what she was doing. And just one thing led to another, and on and on and on.
Exactly. Wow. Thank you, Denise. And it's so true. When you really put yourself out there, when you hire the right people, you're drawn to the right mentors. You're drawn to the right coaches. And by the same token, if you become a coach, then your tribe, your women are drawn to you.
Yeah.
And it's almost like we become a beacon to those who have been injured and those who have been struggling. And their struggles are similar to our struggles. And their injuries are similar to our injuries. And when we've healed those struggles, when we've healed those injuries, and we've healed ourselves, then we can leave the path. And it doesn't mean we're completely whole and we're completely healed 100%, but we're a few steps ahead of our own, those that we're meant to serve. And I say that very strongly because I truly believe that we are meant to serve. And
absolutely.
They will come. They will come.
Yeah.
So
build it and they will come.
Yes, build it and they will come. And they do. They do.
Yeah.
Sometimes they trickle in, and sometimes they come in like floods. It all depends on how much fear you let get in your way.
That's right. You are so right.
That's true. So Denise, what exactly is your current mission, and what is your vision for moving forward?
Empowering one woman at a time. That is my mission statement. I am creating a group program because I believe in, like I was saying before, community and reaching out. So that is something that I'm about to launch in November. And I just launched my Self-Love Summit, and I'm just creating these beautiful, interview series for the people to listen to. It's kind of like a podcast, and they can listen to interviews that I do, and I pick topics that resonate with me, so I know they're resonating with people out there. Women is my tribe. So yeah, that's why I chose, my latest one was self-love, and my next one next year is going to be about energy. So everything that I want to learn about and teach about, I create this interview series, 21 experts, and I interview them, they're experts on it, and I learn, and then I can turn around and teach it. So that's my mission, is just to keep creating, keep touching lives, keep helping.
Wow, that's beautiful, Denise. And your vision of really touching the lives by interviewing experts so that you can learn and so that you can provide value and help with the people that work with you and who are drawn to you. is absolutely amazing. That's absolutely brilliant, really. I like that. That's really good.
Thank you.
We're going to be wrapping up in about 8 minutes, and I wanted to know if there's anything you'd like to leave the women who are listening to this, and how would they find out about your series coming up in November, and how would they contact you?
Well, absolutely through my website, because there's a contact page there, which is DeniseDominguez.com. And my email is there, my phone number. I mean, they can, whatever, email me, text me, however they need to get in touch with me, and I will be more than happy to get on the phone or Skype or whatever to chat with them and tell them about everything. And then for my interview series, which is currently going on, but it's not too late to jump on.
It is Denise, it's www.DeniseDominguez.com / and then the abbreviation for What's Love Got to Do with It, which is WLGTWI. I'll repeat that. It's WLGTWI, and that will take you to my opt-in page.
And they just put their name and their email address. Will be a video of me, and they will get the interview series, and it just launched on August 18th. But there's an expert page there where they can catch up on the previous interviews.
Oh, fabulous, fabulous. And will this be played again if somebody's listening to the radio show after it's over with?
Yes. So it goes for 12 days, starting August 18th. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a replay for probably another 72 hours. But like I said, Lucy, they can just email me and say, hey, I heard you on, the radio show, Wealthy Wednesday, and you talked about your What's Love Got to Do with the Summit. How can I get it? And I will just literally forward them the link.
Oh, that's fabulous. That's so fabulous, Denise. I really, really appreciate that. And I appreciate you coming on to the Wealthy Wednesday radio show. It's been such an incredible pleasure having you on the show, and your value that you've been able to provide to the women that are listening, the women that we work with who are struggling and not sure how to get unstuck. These tips will really help them get unstuck to move forward. And if they need to get a hold of you, they just go to your website, DeniseDominguez.com, or they look you up on Facebook at Denise Clark Dominguez, and they'll be able to find you and to be able to connect with you if they have any other questions or if they need support.
Thank you, Lucy. I'm so honored to be here and that you asked me to be a guest. Connecting with you has been amazing, and I really appreciate what you're doing. We're like two peas in a pod here.
Absolutely. And I'm so grateful. So thank you so kindly. And until next time, I will talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Wealthy Wednesday radio show with Luci McMonagle. That's on every Wednesday. Join us next time for more inspiration and empowerment from various topics and expert guests. To personally contact Luci McMonagle, visit LuciMcMonagle.com. That's LuciMcMonagle.com. Until next time, many blessings.